The divine numerological meaning of number 70, a deep spiritual and biblical insight. The number 70 is highly significant in biblical numerology, spirituality, and divine prophecy. It represents divine order, completion, judgment, restoration, and the fulfillment of God's plan. The number 70 appears multiple times in the Bible, symbolizing perfection, authority, and the connection between the physical and spiritual worlds. If you frequently see the number 70, or if you are studying its meaning in biblical and spiritual contexts, this in-depth guide will help you understand the spiritual and numerological symbolism of 70, the universal influence of 70 in prophecy and divine order. The hidden mystical significance of 70, how 70 relates to your spiritual journey. Let's explore the divine truths behind the number 70 and its profound influence on life, faith, and destiny. The number 70 appears multiple times in the Bible, and it often represents completion and perfection, the end of a cycle, and the fulfillment of divine plans. Divine judgment and restoration, the 70 years of captivity in Babylon. Spiritual authority and leadership, the 70 elders appointed by Moses. Let's explore the major biblical references to the number 70. The 70 nations and God's divine order, Genesis 10. After the Great Flood, the descendants of Noah formed 70 nations, as recorded in Genesis 10. This symbolized the division of humanity and the establishment of divine order on earth. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. Genesis 10:32. This passage shows that 70 represents the totality of the world's nations, cultures, and divine governance. The 70 elders of Israel, Exodus 24 hours 1 minute, Numbers 11, 16-25. When Moses led the Israelites, God commanded him to appoint 70 elders to help lead and guide the people. Gather for me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of meeting, that they may stand there with you. Numbers 11:16. These 70 elders were given divine wisdom and authority, showing that 70 is the number of leadership, spiritual wisdom, and divine governance. The 70-year Babylonian captivity, Jeremiah 25, 11-12, Daniel 9:2. The Israelites were exiled to Babylon for 70 years as a punishment for their sins. This whole country will become a desolate wasteland, and these nations will serve the king of Babylon 70 years. Jeremiah 25:11. However, after 70 years, God restored his people, showing that 70 is also the number of divine judgment and restoration. The 70 weeks prophecy of Daniel, Daniel 9:24-27. One of the most famous prophecies in the Bible is Daniel's 70 weeks prophecy, which foretells the coming of the Messiah and the end times. 70 weeks are decreed about your people and your holy city, to finish the transgression, to put an end to sin, and to atone for iniquity. Daniel 9:24. This prophecy highlights 70 as a divine fulfillment and the completion of God's plan. Jesus and the 70 disciples, Luke 10, 1-17. Jesus appointed 70 disciples and sent them out to preach the gospel. After this, the Lord appointed 70 others and sent them to by two ahead of him to every town and place where he was about to go. Luke 10:1. This represents the universal mission of the church, showing that 70 symbolized divine ministry and spiritual expansion. The spiritual and numerological symbolism of 70. Since 70 is a combination of 7, spiritual perfection, and 10, divine order, it represents the completion of divine cycles, the fulfillment of spiritual destiny, the transition from one era to another. Whenever 70 appears in your life, it may signify the end of a major phase and the beginning of something new. The number 70 as a symbol of divine judgment and mercy, the end of a period of testing, the fulfillment of prophecy, a time of renewal and transformation. Seeing 70 may indicate that you are entering a period of divine change, correction, or spiritual renewal. The 70 names of God in YAH-WEH mysticism. In Kabbalah and YAH-WEH mysticism, it is believed that God has 70 sacred names, each representing a different aspect of divine power and wisdom. This highlights 70 as some deep spiritual knowledge and divine revelation. The 70 years of human life, Psalm 90:10, the Bible states that the average human lifespan is 70 years. The years of our life are 70, or even because of strength 80, yet their span is but toil and trouble. Psalm 90:10. This shows that 70 represents a complete human lifetime, symbolizing wisdom, aging, and the cycle of life. In YAH-WEH history, the Sanhedrin, YAH-WEH Supreme Court, had 70 elders who were responsible for interpreting divine law and justice. This emphasizes 70 as the legal and spiritual authority. How number 70 impacts your spiritual journey. If 70 frequently appears in your life, it is a message from the universe that a major cycle in your life is ending and a new one is beginning. You are being called to leadership and divine wisdom. You may be entering a period of correction or spiritual renewal. God's promises and plans for you are about to be fulfilled. Pray for guidance, seek divine wisdom about what cycle is ending in your life, trust the process. 70 often signals transformation and new beginnings. Reflect on spiritual lessons. What has this phase of your life taught you? Prepare for a new chapter. 70 is a sign that change is coming. The number 70 is a sacred and powerful symbol of divine order, completion, and fulfillment. Whether in biblical prophecy, numerology, or history, 70 represents the transition from one phase to another. Whenever you see 70, take it as a divine message that a season in your life is ending and a new chapter is about to begin.